Shit.
Batman: The Long Halloween. Let's watch this bitch.
Okay, let's get in there.
Is you ready for me to fuck it?
Okay.
Okay, sucking, fucking, and touching.
It's PG-13. Suck a dick. I don't want to watch this.
I can't really be a lawyer and a criminal, can I? I want to win. But do I want to win like this? I'm of two minds here.
So it's a coin flip.
Of course you are, Harvey. You son of a bitch.
Johnny Vitti was murdered tonight. Falcone crime family has to be taken down.
There's only room for one homicidal maniac in this town.
Stupid.
Why are you running?
You could use a little fun.
I thought you didn't hurt people!
You thought wrong.
You still haven't figured out who killed Johnny Vitti?
A killer who only works on holidays. There's lots of crazy out there.
Untapped potential right there. Solomon Grundy.
Once I take him out, things are going to be different. We can start a family. The city is fallen, Alfred.
Then we must endeavor to lift it up again. Who is Holiday?
And who's next?
Yeah, it's gonna be another classic DC awesome animated movie. Another, like 100%. Again, man, DC, they can do. They're the Noxucal of the animated movies. That is what they is. That's what they is. Like, how can you catch him but not me?
Dave Johnson said, "Swear to me."
I think that look, man, it's gonna be good. It's been a while since I've actually read the graphic novel of The Long Halloween, but I do remember liking it. Actually, it was so popular that in the Arkham games, you can select. I think Catwoman's costume is the Long Halloween Catwoman costume because it was so popular in everyday life as far as people reading it. But yeah, man, it looks good. What's his Jensen Ackles? He sounds okay. I'm not saying that he doesn't sound, but I miss Kevin Conroy. Every time I see a Batman movie or a Batman animated anything, Kevin Conroy is the guy. Like, it almost is like, I don't know if he just didn't want to do it, or they're like, oh, let's throw in Jensen Ackles, or I feel like Kevin Conroy would have been able to, because the thing about Kevin Conroy, he gives so much more dramatic delivery of the line. Like, it really feels like you're listening to Batman if you were on a cartoon.
Well, he's great, dude. And then like Ackles has done stuff. I think he was Red Hood before, but like he's done other good stuff with the voice acting, and like they always do a good job with the voice acting. The thing about DC animated films that I love is like anything could fucking happen. Even the stuff that people don't like Batman banging Batgirl and stuff like that. Like, it's a weird microcosm of all the cool shit DC could do if they just let go of the fucking wheel, like Brad Pitt and Edward Norton in Fight Club. Let's do some wild shit. DC animated, it's like Game of Thrones when they killed off Sean Bean in the first season. It sucked at the moment, but then you said to yourself, this show will do anything. So I have to be on my fucking edge the entire time I watch it. I feel that way when I watch DC animated films, which is why I think even as an animated film, it still fucking gets me going when I watch it, because they'll do anything. Like, you can't fucking predict what they're gonna do.
And again, good on them. At least we get something. At least we get a bent kind of edge reality when it comes to these comic books. As far as DC is concerned, they're gonna let these animated movies go. But it really would be amazing if the Warner Brothers brass ever fucking one time said, you know what, it'd be really cool is if we actually did live action adaptions of these stories and put them out on like HBO After Dark, or like right after Taxi Cab Confessions, like just some really fucking raunchy shit.
That would be wild. Back in the day, it would come out then.
I'd be like, that is what I'm talking about. Like, you remember Spawn, the animated series on HBO? Like, do shit like that. And I'd be like, fuck yeah, but do it live action.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, in the same way they approached Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, Oz, you know, like how gritty and on the edge those shows were. Do the same thing with The Long Halloween. Do the same thing with The Killing Joke.
It's wild that you fucking say that because it's so weird. Like, it's so fucking weird that you would say that, dude, because if you think about it, DC animated films and what they've become, if we were living back in the 90s and these same stories were popular and they were coming out, that's how they would fucking air. They wouldn't come on DVD or they wouldn't come on Blu-ray digital first. They would show up at like 10 o'clock on like fucking HBO Skinamax. They would show up at like 9 or 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. And that's when you would see these things. There would be these fucked up weird cartoons.
And that's,
like,
but that's when you knew to watch it.
Yes.
Like that's when you knew you were going to get the good shit.
I think that's the genius of what they're doing. They're doing that. They're releasing it in a different format, but these feel like, God damn, you nailed it, dude. They feel like late night HBO fucking Saturday night cartoons.
And again, you know, like somebody mentioned, I remember that Real Sex on HBO. You would watch Real Sex.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, you know what? Real Sex might have been a jerk off material for some, but I feel like it was educational.
It was
for a lot.
very educational.
Yeah,
dude.
it really was. So you watch Real Sex, and then Spawn would come on, and then you'd have this fucking 1 hour block of just this insane story with these graphics that are fucking beyond what you see on Saturday morning cartoons, and you're like, holy shit.
Yes.
But nowadays, you could make that live action, right? You could get an hour block on HBO with a live, like, again, look what they did with Game of Thrones, man. Look what they did with The Sopranos, Oz. And you're going to tell me that HBO wouldn't be salivating if Warner Media came to them and be like, hey, man, we would love for you to develop The Long Halloween live action.
And you can put it on HBO Max now.
Right. So they're going to make money. Everybody's going to make money. And now at this point, you're like, you're going to get, you know what you're going to get? Because DC is chasing after Marvel's like dick, like it's like the greatest sucker on earth, like the greatest lollipop.
Yeah.
You have this going for you. Your HBO Max subscriptions would go through the fucking roof.
Dude.
Remember in Daredevil, right? Netflix, Daredevil, everybody jumped on Netflix and they're like, I got to watch Daredevil.
Dude, I say take it even a level beneath that. Like, instead, you know what they should fucking do? I swear to God, dude, if you and I ran HBO Max, we would fucking make billions. We would make goddamn billions.
And then we would get fired because we were like, you got too many opinions.
But you know what they should do? If you've got HBO Max, you should say, fuck this cancel culture, fuck this Twitter, fuck this appropriate bullshit.
Yeah.
Not only are we going to continue with these weird, dark Batman stories, we're gonna make them fucking. We're gonna have a Batman fucking hot sex scene, like a fucked up weird Batman sex scene.
Yeah.
It's gonna come on. We're gonna debut that shit on HBO Max at midnight. It's gonna feel like old school HBO late at night shit. We're gonna have Batman doing fucked up shit. You're gonna feel rotten and dirty watching it.
I want it.
Feel weird watching it. This is superheroes for a fucking adults. And you know what? 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, they're going to be watching it, and they're going to be fucking fine. You know why? Because all of us 90s kids, we watched that shit too growing up, and we're fucking fine.
And
I mean,
like
sort of.
You gotta pay it forward, man. I feel like those kids, they deserve it. Because I remember how cool it was in the early late 90s to watch Spawn after Real Sex or Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO, and to fucking watch Spawn kick ass and shit, and you have this and you're like, you shouldn't be watching it because you're too young, but it was so fucking cool to see a superhero like cussing and blood and sex and titties and like all this crazy shit. But guess what? I didn't wind up killing anybody. I didn't wind up going to jail for any kind of sexual assault or anything like that. I was fine. I feel like kids would love it, man. And I think that, again, if you're gonna do like on the edge shows like Game of Thrones and Oz and Sopranos, I think you can do this. And by the way, I feel like Andrew Garfield in The Social Network. I don't want 30%. I'm coming back for all of it. I feel like you should do live action. If you're gonna pump the money into live action films or shows like Game of Thrones and what I've mentioned,
dude,
why not pump the money in?
Oh my god, the fucking DC universe on a Game of Thrones scale of fucked up, sexy, hot, violent, fucked up shit. If you do that, do you understand how fucking big that shit would be?
It'd be
if you
huge.
Sopranos the fucking DC universe,
yeah.
and you
And
only put it on late night HBO Max.
And tell it from the story of Bruce Wayne. Imagine Tony Soprano in the form of Bruce Wayne telling the story in that kind of like that kind of synopsis. Woo-wee. And you could introduce Red Hood, you could introduce Tim Drake, you could introduce Damian, you could introduce Talia al Ghul, you could introduce all the drama going on. You could do a 12 episode, right? A 12 episode series on Batman and do amazing things with it. Either way, but if you did want to do that, if you're just gonna put an episodic The Long Halloween, like they just showed on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know why. It's like they're allergic to making money. Like it's like you're allergic to making money, because if you were out there on Twitter or Facebook or wherever the fuck you were promoting this, people would flock. They would fucking flock.
You wouldn't even have to promote it. You wouldn't even have to promote it. You air this shit at fucking midnight, and you have a fucked up fucking sexual R-rated disgusting Batman whatever
on
storyline.
Saturday night.
It's gonna cause such a fucking firestorm between people who are angry about it and people who fucking love it and people who feel like it's old school 90s Skinamax. It would go fucking nuts.
It would.